for just a quotient or a product of an exponent or of a power. So let's say I did this and I said this, and I wanted you to give me a unique, if I want you to give me a product or a quotient of a power. So each of these is a unique base. It's not the same base. Plus with PEDMAS, or BEDMAS in English, we know that we generally do the things in the parentheses first. This is an exception because all I'm asking you to do this time is to create a multiplication or a division of powers. So what you do in this case is you take this little 4 and you put it on everything in the brackets. It only works when this is multiplication or division. So what am I going to say now? It's going to be 2 to the 4 times 3 to the 4. Okay, if you forget, all you're going to do is you're going to say, I'm going to go 2 times 3, 4 times. Because that's what that means. It means take that multiplication and do it 4 times. So then I count 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. That means 2 multiplied 4 times. Times how many 3s? 4 3s. And then you can write it like that if you forget. Hopefully you won't forget. And another equation or another example, that may help you, let's do division this time, is when you have this, you won't be as tempted to do anything. Like here you might put a 6 on it. And when you're done, yes, this will be 6 to the power of 4 will give you the same answer as this. However, I'm asking for a product or a quotient of a power. In this case, it's really obvious because you can't do anything with A and B because we don't know their values. So in this case, it's pretty obvious that you just do this. But just in case you forget, one example that we had in class was this. This actually means 1/3 times 1/3. But if I don't ask you to evaluate and you write this, then you're wrong. Even though you're right, the question is not that. We're not asking for the answer. We're asking you to create a power that is a quotient or a product. So in this case, you put the 2 on the 1 and you put the 2 on the 3 and you get 1 squared over 3 squared. Okay? And then when we ask you to evaluate, that means you go all the way to the end until you get a numerical value. Unless you have variables, and then you'll have variables in there too. You will have PEDMAS, and you will be required to look at these crazy questions. They look so crazy, but they're actually not. They're really, really not. Let's say this is similar to one that we had. So in this case, you look for the square brackets, you start there. So what's in the square brackets? Let's put this to the 3rd power. Let's just start here. Well, -2 and -2 are the same base. Do we have a multiplication or a division? Yes, we do. We have a division. What do we do in that case? We keep the base the same, and we subtract the exponents. Okay, but there's something outside of that. Okay, this is the other law of exponents that you need to know. What do you do when you have 2 exponents and they're on either side of a parentheses? You multiply them. Why? Well, because this means -2 to the power of 2 3 times. That's what that means. Because when you put the exponent on way out here on the outside of the brackets, we're actually saying that this entire thing in brackets is the base. Okay, so take that entire thing in brackets as the base and do it 3 times. Okay, so another way to say that, now we're going to have multiplying these. Well, what do you do when you multiply bases that are the same bases and have exponents? You add the exponents. So what's 2 plus 2 plus 2? It's 6. So this is going to end up being that. Well, we could have saved ourselves a lot of writing and just done 2 times 3, which is 6. So now this guy becomes -2 to the power of 6 plus -5 to the power of 2. Now you have to actually multiply it out. So -2 times -2 is 4, 16, and then you're going to multiply it again by 4, 64. The negatives will all cancel because this ends up being, and then this will be 25, and then you add them together to get your answer. What was I going to say? If you forget, you can always not write this all out and just go, okay, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Okay, and I have an even number of negatives, so they're all going to cancel. Okay, so that's exponents. Those are the laws that you really need to understand. And the PEDMAS, my biggest advice there is just take it one little step at a time. Don't rush through it. Anything else? Oh, Pythagorean theorem. Okay, I'll do one more video. I'll stop this one now because that's a lot of talking, and we'll do one on Pythagorean theorem.